Denny Hamlin's teammate Martin Truex Jr. did not mince words when he described what he did to Kyle Larson on Sunday at Pocono as dirty. Let's listen to what Martin Truex Jr. had to say and why he did not choose to do what Denny Hamlin did to get the win.
But I feel like I picked the right lanes, and you know, I did exactly what Denny did, other than running through, you know, pushing the 5-car too deep in the corner and then running him in the fence off of 2. So you know, he kind of took it that extra little bit, I guess, to make it a little bit dirty, and you know, I didn't. So maybe that's, you know, the difference why he won and I didn't. When I
There you go, Martin Truex Jr. calling the move dirty, and then he ran Kyle Larson in way deep. I think the only way Denny Hamlin does win that race is if he did indeed do that. If you watch the race, it was really hard for any of the cars, especially on the restarts, to get past that car on the outside lane. The outside lane was definitely the preferred lane, and when you got up to the front, it was extremely difficult to pass because all the cars are so similar. But you kind of saw the replay there. Let's take another look at that here. We can see that it's really hard to see here on the official NASCAR YouTube whether or not Hamlin actually makes contact with Larson or not. They kind of cut it right to the different camera angle right when it looks like they might be making contact. But let's take a look here.
The 19, the 11 clears him, and now here comes Denny Hamlin.
You see Hamlin is right there. He's underneath of him. He's actually pulling ahead. Larson gets the run off the corner, and then he goes and brushes the wall. It's really hard to tell if Hamlin actually touched him or not. I think Kyle Larson definitely thought he touched him, but you can see here he totally lost the momentum going down the backstretch there into turn 2. So, and then obviously you have the wreck here. But Hamlin had his own comments in the post-race interview. So here he is responding to what Kyle Larson had to say about the move, and he compares it to what happened with Ross Chastain last year, and then Hamlin kind of fires back at Larson and said that that's what he did to Bubba Wallace at Michigan, which Bubba Wallace then retaliated and was suspended for a race. So let's listen to what Denny had to say here.
Larson had said that he felt like it was kind of the same move that you did to Chastain last year.
Same move he made to Bubba. Did he mention that or no?
Denny's so defensive already.
So, but do you feel like you raced him with respect?
You knew these questions were coming.
We're racing for the win. Are you me? For sure.
I mean, I think it's right there. I mean, he has said he wasn't racing for respect. He was racing for the win, and I don't fault him for that. I don't fault him for racing for the win. You're out there as NASCAR drivers. It's part of it, right? What's the phrase? Bumpin's racing, right?
Sure. I mean, if I'm going to give anyone in the field respect, it's Kyle Larson. Just because of our, you know, I respect him as a race car driver, and I think he's, you know, probably the best. So certainly he's got my respect. But damn, I mean, we're all racing for a win, and I guarantee you, roles reverse, it goes the same way.
Larson had said that he felt like it was kind of...
I actually think Hamlin is right there. I think Larson would have done the same thing. We saw him kind of do something similar to Chase Elliott. I think it was at Watkins Glen a couple years ago when he basically punted Chase Elliott off the track going into a turn. So I think Hamlin is right there. There's a track record of that. And again, at the end of the day, these guys were racing for the win, and I don't think there was necessarily anything wrong with what Denny did. I actually liked what he did. I thought it was a fun move. I like when these guys are putting it all on the line, and you know, Larson had to know that was coming too. You had to know he knew that move was coming, and he needed to be prepared for it. And maybe he was, and maybe he didn't really have anything to do to counter it. But indeed, the move happened, and it didn't work out for him, and it worked out for Hamlin, and he went on to claim victory. Let's also listen to this other clip here from Denny Hamlin, where he actually describes the move and says he's not here to defend it. And I kind of concur with him. I don't think he is here to defend it. But let's listen to what he says about the move.
Larson obviously not happy and said that of all the times he's never had to apologize to you, you've had to apologize to him. Why wasn't your move dirty, and how do you view it after everything that happened?
Well, that's not true. He's ran me off a bunch of road courses and called me and said sorry, and I said I'm going to stand my ground next time. I'm not here to defend anything. I put both of those guys, the 48 and the 5, in an arrow situation. Didn't touch either one. how can you wreck someone you don't touch? They make a decision to either let off the gas and race side by side, or hit the gas and hit the wall. I mean, I put them to those decisions. I didn't overshoot the corner. I was behind them. I tried to get position on them. Knew it was going to be tight off of 2, but always made sure I left a lane or more than a lane. You know, it's the same, you know, these next-gen cars, for whatever reason, you get in that spot near the car on the outside, it sends them very tight. It just tightens their aero balance. Everyone knows it. You know, Kyle is one of the best aero blockers in our field. I knew once he got the lead and it was green, there was just no way I was going to go around on that. So I just backed off and just waited. And
that's absolutely true. I mean, if you watch the race, no one was really even able to go after Larson. You had Denny Hamlin up there. Martin Truex, who had been the dominant car, was kind of stuck in third because he couldn't even get around Denny Hamlin as well. Like I said earlier, it was really hard to pass once you had taken that high lane and were defending the clean air.
Tried not to burn up my for a restart later, because he knows how to put you in a situation to just kill your car. So, you know, we waited and we pounced at the right time. He, you know, didn't get his right sides clean and drove in the corner just too far and let us get beside him. And then I thought we were going to race it out off of 2, but you know, it was just he got in the fence.
Larson.
So I think that's what Denny Hamlin had to say. I can't really fault him for what he's saying. I think that was a racing situation. It did look like an aero situation. It's hard to tell whether or not he actually brushed him or not. And even if he did brush him, right? This is stock car racing. You see this all the time. You like to see that. You like to see them bumping and banging. That is part of stock car racing. That is part of NASCAR. Who doesn't like that? If you're complaining about that, I question whether or not you're a NASCAR fan. Or a stock car fan in general. So my biggest issue with all this was the fact that we didn't actually get to see them finish the race under green. But that is what Martin Truex Jr. had to say. I don't know if I actually agree with him. I think Hamlin did push the limits, and he did it because he wanted to win, and that's what we want to see. We want to see these drivers go for the win. But let me know what you think. Do you think Martin Truex Jr. was right in calling Denny Hamlin's move dirty? Or do you think it was just a really ballsy, aggressive racing move that ended up getting him the checkered flag and the win? If you like this video and more like this, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe and check that bell for notifications.